Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.
We checked his pulse. He's alive and well. If you're looking to feel like warm and fuzzy inside, like I'm your guy.
And I'm sure you threw me right under the bus.
Yeah, you're my dog. Woof.
Yeah, goaltending is the toughest position, I think, in all sports.
I think it's announcing.
Neil's dad's a dentist.
You're still pretty nimble at 43. It's not bad.
If I get called 46 years old one more time, I may leave.
What a great lesson in the alphabet.
Dude, you had like butter in your gloves.
That was a bad sneeze.
Often been imitated, never really duplicated.
We're having a good time.
We're having a good time.
And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Welcome back to the E Show. Jake, good morning. I'm having deja vu this morning.
Okay. Is it because of the snow?
It's another Monday snowstorm where my kids are home wearing their hockey pajamas, not coordinated, and we're on the podcast.
I'm also wearing my hockey pajamas too. For the people
I knew you had Islanders on somewhere. I just didn't know if it was like your underwear or actually like your pants or your shirt.
Actually, I don't have Islanders underwear.
That's surprising for me.
I'll have to get to work on that, but I got these pajamas for my aunt this Christmas, so I want to rock them. And I'm rocking the NJB hoodie. Thank you to the NJBs for giving me this. I feel like I look young in this, maybe a little less grizzled. Get it? Like a grizzly bear.
That was funny, Chase. That was funny. But speaking of deja vu, before we get into a big Around the East Show segment this week, which includes a huge announcement in the South Division. The previous Monday we had snow like this. You tried going to the gym twice. Did you even?
Yeah, the second time it was open. No, the first, when I left the gym yesterday, there was a sign on the door that said we're going to be closed tomorrow and might be closed Tuesday. So,
and it was like in parentheses, this is for you, Jake.
That's what I asked them on Saturday what their plans were. They're like, we don't know yet, dude. And went yesterday and they were ready. Yeah, so it'll be a nice chill rest day today.
How are you gonna compete on your whoop though? Won't somebody?
I'm in with the PHC fellas. I think they'll probably take it easy today too. They can't go anywhere either.
Yeah, true, fair.
Yeah,
fair.
Dominated yesterday though.
Yes, you did. I did see that. But you bring up PHC. They're actually the team that we have with this huge announcement that we're going to get to right now in Around the East Show.
Let's take a look at what's going on around the E Show.
So this is the time of year where I actually brought this up on last week's podcast when I said, all the coaches are asking me the same question. When is the last day you can add a new player, right? And you've grown up a sports fan, right? We always talk about the NHL trade deadline, the MLB trade deadline, and teams trying to add reinforcements, and sometimes they have players that are injured or elsewhere that come back to them that they don't have to give up anything for. That's the case for PHC. They had a player there at the start of the year who came to our college series. I think we knew he was good, Jake. I think we found out another level that he could get to.
Yeah, I remember at the October showcase, the icebreaker. You came up to me and you were like, Ty Simonet's on the main team.
Yes. Like we were locked in then, and then like watching just the way that he competed throughout, right? Not just like in the Albertus Madness game that we lost 4-3, but the Manhattanville game that the first period, got away from us a little bit, right? But he never let us put off the gas, and it's what gave him a chance to play for a few months for the Philadelphia Rebels in the North American Hockey League, obviously under the same roof as PHC, our EHL team, and he's going back to PHC for this stretch run. And I think it goes without saying, a lot of people knew who he was before because of that all-star recognition, but to add a top 5 defenseman in the league, top 3 defensemen in the entire league at this time for a team that's already in first place and has their sights set on, knocking off, we'll call it their kryptonite, the New Jersey 87s, and winning the South Division for the first time, they are now the favorite, period.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to guys around the league, guys in the South Division, Central Division, that feel that they're the best team in the EHL.
Whoa.
And this only adds to that. And, I mean, they're having a dominant year. They didn't lose any of that dominance when they lost Ty Simonet in the first place, right? They continued on that pace. They just shut out the 87s without him. And now he's going to be here again. Like, it makes that team that much more daunting now here in the home stretch of the regular season.
And we've talked about this really goaltending trio that they have down there, right? Between Carson Fowler, wow, I called him Fowler, Lorenzo Rossi, and Luke Beauperlant. Like, I think today, if they were playing a playoff game, Bo is probably getting the first start, which is just crazy to think in itself, being the youngest goalie of the group, but also Rossi's committed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the first commitments we had this season. But that just shows how deep they are, and it's why he's a candidate for Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah. Technically, Fowler is younger, but I get it.
Oh, I wasn't doing like the months and all of that, but I knew that as soon as I said it, you were going to go look up the months, but...
I had to, just to get you, you know?
By how
Anybody
long?
else might look that up.
But is it close?
2 months.
Like, throw me a
even.
bone here, New Jersey Bears. But as I bring this up, let's talk about the rest of the South Division now. This is not to say that, you know, we're a league where there's 100 trades this time of year, but for PHC, this isn't even a trade, right? This was a guy that was with them at the start of the year. They're kind of taking good advantage of the system that they have in place, the structure they have in place within their building. For the rest of the division, do you feel like now there's some sort of move that you may have to make to set yourself up for March?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, if you're the New Jersey 87s, I think you have that high end scoring, right? Alex Har, Ivan Kulagin, like that duo up front. Don Berlito, that's as good of a top line as you'll find in the EHL. For them, I think it's more about finding depth scoring. And then for the New Jersey Bears, yeah, I think it's about finding a guy that could just consistently put the puck in the back of the net. They wax and wane a little bit offensively, right? Even that 87s back-to-back, that was a perfect example of their offense, right? One game, they score 5 goals. The other game, it's a little bit lifeless. They were polar opposite games for the New Jersey Bears.
Did you have that one written down? It looked like
No.
you had that one written down. Okay.
No, it just came to me as I was saying, look at the 2 games, and I was like, I need to find a way to land with this one. Yeah. So exactly. So in that game, right, the top line was all over it. 87s couldn't bear it, but in the game prior, it was all 87. So I do think so. And similar impetus for the Philadelphia Little Flyers, who've had struggle scoring goals throughout the season. Now PHC, the third team, I believe, to hit the 30-win plateau this season now, so they're looking even stronger.
Yeah, and Little Flyers, I know, just lost 3 in a row to PHC. The middle one, though, was the closest of the group, and it's trending towards that being the first round matchup, right? PHC versus Little Flyers, which, funny enough, for PHC, they've been in that position before, right? As the 4 going against the 1, one of the past couple of years when they knocked off the Bears. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, we know this every year with the South, that anything can happen once March rolls around, but I don't know if we've had as clearly defined 1 through 4 seeds going into the playoffs like we do this year.
For sure. And if Philly Little Flyers, a 4-2 game in there, a 2-1 game in there, you got to feel a little bit better about those two than the third one for sure. And the season series has crept a little bit closer now. especially with these last 3 games, but they still haven't gotten that win over PHC. And for, the middle of the pack teams in that playoff race, Bears and 87s, it was all 87s to start off the season series. Now the Bears have won 3 of the last 4 meetings in that season series. So now I think that is a total, pick 'em kind of matchup right there between those two teams.
And we've talked a lot about this with the Central, but it's kind of fitting in a way. I'm sure you can. Chase is now talking for those that can't.
Yes, once the camera got off and he's begun.
We've talked about this with the Central. It actually kind of fits that it could be PHC versus the Little Flyers. We'll call it the southwest region of the division, if you will, versus the Bears and 87s, kind of the northeast region of the division, fitting in a way. But we transitioned from south to central, and I didn't have this one written down either, Jake, but I've had it in my head waiting to bring up with you. You've had a number of, we'll call it man crushes over the years with certain players. Aiden Forstier, where does that one rank for you?
I don't know, dude. I watch Forstier with the same googly eyes that I watch Matthew Schaefer.
Wow.
I was standing up in the perch at the Rhode Island Sports Center next to Cooper Grothgut's dad, and I was just I just can't wait for his next shift. And they roll guys
5 times about him on Saturday night.
They roll guys on HC Rhode Island, so I gotta be patient for that, right? That's they're playing everybody, so I just waiting patiently. And after every shift, Nick Delgado is turning around and looking at me and being like, "Did you get that one? Did you get that one?" The thing is, and he had a play in the second period where he did that same one-hand move around a defenseman, curled away from another guy, kicked it back to, I think, Bud, and then Bud passed it to Muska. And it's he's an anomaly. He was playing on a different difficulty. Everybody else was on rookie, or he was on rookie, everybody else is on the same level. And then he's just toying with people. It was unbelievable to watch. And he's not flying. He's a good skater, but he's not flying past guys and stuff. It's so deliberate and calculated. I wonder from his eyes what the game actually looks like.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he's playing a video game.
And it's just smooth, right? I mean, that play through neutral rights that you posted, it just seemed so easy.
Calculated. He knew what was going to happen before it happened.
And I think it's funny because every now and then, over the years, we get a young player like him that just comes in and pops, right? Immediately, right? And the question you ask yourself when you see him for the first time is where did they find this kid, right? In the town that they play in.
Yeah, he lives on that road. Yeah, that makes it nice and easy. Well, he's just phenomenal. I'm so glad they're back on track here. I think 4 out of the last 5 games now are wins. They're feeling good, and the interview was fantastic too. I don't know if you watched the full thing. It was a little bit of a longer one. I was like, this needs to be a longer one. We're gonna have a nice conversation here. And he was walking by these little kids after, and they were all giving him knucks, you're nasty. And after he walked by, I was like, yeah, I taught him everything. That's all me right there.
They are definitely back on track now, and they have that little Y symbol next to their name in the standings. They've officially clinched the number 1 seed. And I know I've brought this up too many times to count, and I'm sorry for those that are probably why do you keep talking about this? Because it keeps changing, man. If they're the favorite to reach the Central Finals at a minimum, right, let alone win the Central, who are they facing there?
Who are they facing? What, in the divisional final?
In the division final. We went through a phase where it looked like Nor'easter was we're going to be the second best team, and then
that's
Providence
also to me.
Yeah,
but Providence you can't count out the core. You can't count out the core, man.
They just swept that home and home series from Nor'easter. Why
they won 3 in a row against the Nor'easter and then beat Philly Hockey Club?
Correct. It's what is happening in this division? Is it just someone keeps grabbing the reins of we'll call it number 2 at the moment?
Yeah, Nor'easter had all those games in hand, and they let it slip. They really let it slip, and they were getting hot. it's just, I don't know, they're Providence and Nor'easter are both, younger teams too, right? So like you kind of see this inconsistency in the way that they play. When they're hot, right? Providence winning 6 of 7, Nor'easter from the showcase on being well above 500 after starting 4 and 10. And so to be where they are is still, pretty impressive. Just from where they began this year, but you can't count out the core, man. With the way they've been playing, with the way AJ Frankitis has been playing, you can't count out the core. And I think, what do they play, HCRI twice this week?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If they could split that, that's huge for them too. A split would be great against a 30-win team.
And if anyone's circling anything on the calendar, Sunday, March 22nd is the last day of the regular season. Nor'easter hosts Providence. That may be to determine who has home ice 3 days later. And we just posted about this with the South Division yesterday. Home ice is valuable. It is very, very valuable. So it could come all the way down to that. We shift now to the Northeast, which we're going to start talking about these guys together because of the way that the postseason structure is set up. And the Avalanche have that same why. They've clinched the North Division. So at a minimum, they'll be at least the 2 seed. I don't want to lock it in as the 1 seed right now, Jake, but the way that they're playing,
Lock them in.
I can almost do that. Like,
if you don't want to lock them in, I'll lock them in.
Well, it's not official yet, right? But
it'll get the seal of approval. There you go.
So at the bottom where it says, what is it? X, Y, and Z are the symbols. Put a B for equals the seal of approval.
There you go. Exactly. They won the division effectively, or won the conference. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear Chase, but we have like a fake phone. Like he is playing agent right now, and he's working out deals for some of our teams. So we're all
Oh boy.
But if they're the one, and listen, they have a 7-point lead. I think they basically own every tiebreaker there could be, except for over the Wizards at this point, right? Because they're the one team that has actually got them a few times, but they do have a 22-point lead over the Wizards. So I don't think we're going to see that tie. That those two teams tie. It's not physically possible. So the Avs probably are the one. The race now for that 2 between the Seahawks and the Express. I mean, we've already used this line before, Jake, and I know it's the game of the week this week. I'm giving it away right now. Who is Wednesday's game bigger for?
It's the Seahawks because the Express still control their fate 100%.
Okay.
50-59 with the equal amount of games played, the Express still control their fate. They have a tough showcase. They're playing Philly Hockey Club. They have 2 more matchups against the Avalanche. They'll probably split those. The Philly Hockey Club game, another pick 'em, another toss up. Like there's no pregame for that one. We're just gonna focus all our attention. Whoever wins gets the interview after. Like that's one of those showcase games,
Okay.
Like, all sights are on that one.
Fair.
And so once again, like if the Seahawks and then if the Seahawks sweep the showcase, Express go 2-1, then you're right back where you started this season, and that's ahead of the Express. So once again, it's most important for the Seahawks. And listen, they were able to beat them. They were able to get 2 by Lucas Toth. Not an easy thing to do. Bouchard on the power play. He's back, which is huge for them. And they still don't have Freezer. Adam Quinn is still not, and he still leads that team in goals. He's 25 goals in 31 games. Not quite Ville Bowden numbers, but probably the second best natural goal scorer in the EHL.
Yeah.
I would say so. So I don't know if he'll be back this week. I don't know what his timeline is. I'm sure if you're the Seahawks, you hope so, or maybe not. Maybe you're just like, take all the time you need. I think they're confident wherever they land, though. And, I was talking to Nicky DeGeorge about this, and he said, whatever, if it's not the first, it's more hockey for us.
And to be honest, one's 2, the other one's 3 at this point, right? And as long as whoever ends up as 3 takes care of business in their first round series, and that's not to say that the Bandits or Valley can't knock them off. We're on a crash course to see these guys in a playoff series.
I think with the Bandits, with the way they started the new year versus right now, I think that they've kind of locked themselves into that 6. They've played the most games, I think, of anybody in the entire league right now.
Yeah.
And Valley has 3 games on them with the point advantage. So I just think at this point they've got to resolve themselves to being that tough out and you've already beaten the Seahawks twice this year, you just kind of need to do that again.
Correct.
If they wind up the 3.
Correct. But if the Seahawks end up as a 3, win that series, or the Express end up as a 3, win that series, we're going to have another Seahawks Express rematch in the postseason with a trip to Babson in the regional finals on the line. I mean, that's what the playoffs are about right there. So, well, we move now to the EHLP, and I have to ask, we've made our announcement. The rosters are out. The world knows what's at stake too. What has the feedback been like for you?
Yeah, I don't really like. There have been a couple of players who have asked me if we're actually getting fired. Yeah, that's the stakes here. One of us is cooked. One of us is done. You will not see us past the Saturday of the March showcase if we lose. That's just how it goes, guys. Times are tough, so we had to up the stakes in one way or another. But there's some buzz around it, man. When I was at Flemington Ice Arena, Jackson Brasser, coach of Team Olivia, one half of the coaches of Team Olivia came up to me. He's like, "You're getting your ASS kicked on Saturday night at the March showcase." Yeah, dude. I was like, "Whoa." He's like, "You gave me Doobie and Mushan. You're done. What are you doing?" But no, it's super exciting. Yeah, I can't wait for this. Pies and Hutchins, I got that duo. I got Carson Lowe, Oren Friedman. I got Jackson Guimond, Colton Ollis, Fiat Antipkin. I got some bundles in there, some stacks that are gonna come to play for us for sure.
And we have one more podcast before the showcase, but the hype that's building up for the showcase is legit. And that's not because for us, we have the best food at this showcase, right?
Mm-hmm. And we get to see ALO a lot.
Yes, that too. I mean, that's ALO food. It's right there, right?
Yes.
But I would say compared to previous years, the buildup is stronger this year. And I think, I mentioned this previously about the possibility of Newman playing the MAC championship game that same night as the EHLP All-Star game. That is becoming closer and closer to a reality, right?
Yeah.
In the MAC, only 4 teams make the playoffs, right? So they have a game this Saturday. They face Alvernia. You win the game, you're hosting in the middle of our showcase. The building is going to be just, I can't wait, Jake.
Yeah. And I think the reason why there's a little more buildup in our league is because last year, it's the end of the season, right? Now we have 2 weeks after. So things are a little bit less set in stone right now.
For sure.
So when we were going into last year, we already knew the team in certain divisions that were going to be on the outside looking in. It's not as much the case. There's still home ice up for grabs in a lot of these scenarios. And you got to be watching the divisional race for the Express and the Seahawks. That's probably the biggest race down the stretch.
For sure.
I don't know if I see it anymore. 87 is technically still in the hunt for the South.
For sure.
So there is that. And then every team just wants to finish as strong as they can too. And, for a team, let's say HCRI, we talked about how their tough showcase schedule is, they have another gauntlet. And in the interview, Aiden Forcier says, these are the games you want to play, right? They spend a lot of time in their division, and they've been there and done that in terms of beating up those teams this year. And then they went out and proved it by going 3-0 at the December showcase, the midseason snowdown. Great name, Jake. Thanks, everybody. And that was probably the most impressive thing they've done this season, and they're going to want to do it again in March.
For sure. In the EHLP, some races to watch as well. And again, we are going to have one more episode before the showcase to kind of preview it more. But I want to get a little bit warmed up for it with this question. And I'm probably creating some bulletin board material, but I'm sure they already have it. Is there a team down south that this showcase is more valuable for them than anybody else to pick up a win against somebody from the Northeast and show that if we're the team that when all is said and done that wins the regional in Wilkes-Barre, we're going to give whoever it is, Av, Seahawks, Express, a fighting battle when they get to Providence?
I think it's probably a mix of UJT and the Bears.
For sure.
UJT at the opening showcase. They got an awesome win over the Seahawks Hockey Club. That was big for them. So, why not try to do that again? They struggled at the very end of the showcase, dropping one to another Northeast team. I know they play the number one team in the league, the New Hampshire Avalanche. They play the Express. That Express game going to be a toss-up. Union actually beat the Express at a showcase last year as well. And then the Bears, it's another opportunity for them. And Jackson Brasher was talking to me also in Flemington about that. What are you laughing at?
Read those matchups.
Yeah, no, I know. He's like, the Avs and Express got us earlier, so this is your opportunity to get back at the Avs who they play in the middle game. The Seahawks, he's like, we believe we're a championship team, but once we get out of the division, it comes down to probably a Seahawks or Avalanche, just by the way the numbers look right now. Express are still in the mix. Providence has, beaten every team above them except the Avs, which will have a shot to do this week and in their next two games. But as of right now, it looks like it'll come down to those two teams. So he says to his team, go out there and prove that you can do it now.
Sure, for sure. We've spent so much time on the EHL record books this year. Obviously, Ville Bowden, 1 goal away now from setting the record for goals in a single season. But I have to keep updating the all-time EHLP books now daily, it feels like, or every game day. Carson Lowe has climbed up to 150, Jake. 4th all-time in points. Does he have 25 more points? And this is regular season and postseason, right?
Let's see. So we're at where are you? There you are. You got.
And I should say Dom Mouchon has cracked into the top 10 too. He's at number 9 now. So he's at 123.
He's probably I think he's going EHL next year. So
yeah, I don't think he has 50 more points the rest of the way. I mean, that would be a frantic pace, but
yes. So Silo's got 7 in the regular season. I don't know, man. I don't know. He might come up just shy.
Yeah, it will be. I think it comes down to how far the Seahawks go. If they make it to Providence, he's got a chance. If it's just one series, definitely not. If it's two, it's right on that fringe. But it is cool at this time of year after every box score. All right, he had 3 more points. Let's go move him up the list a little bit here. So 4th all time.
I want it. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you, I really, really want it.
I'm sure you do. I know what else you've wanted. I've wanted too, and that's to win fantasy. So let's jump to the eShow Fantasy Challenge now. Not to crown a champion, but start to look ahead to March.
Now it's time for the eShow Fantasy Challenge. Follow along on the EHL app.
I do want to acknowledge that a number of players, help make a late run here to make this a contest, I guess you could say. Early on in the month of February, this trio of Bowden, Trishler, and Toth kind of made it so nobody else could keep up. But there are a number of players that have put together great months. You look at Ben Carfora with 30, Matej Dank with 41. We talked about Force the year before, his 31. It's become more interesting, but it is still over.
Yeah, and like we said, there was a mathematical combination that could have gotten you ahead of them, but there were probably only so few, right? A Nicholson, a Frazier, and a Carfora maybe could have gotten you there, right? You really had to be just lucky in order to beat the Nordic block, but nobody's doing it.
Do you already have players circled for March? And I know you and we're both going to look away from those 3.
Yeah.
Because we want to be different.
I think I just got to go family. I think I'm going to take Carson as my forward. Troy maybe as my D. Tendy. I don't know. TBD on the goalie, but I think just maybe Stanger. Just make if I'm gonna go out without any wins, I'll go out with my best friends.
So I wasn't really that far off then before when I said I made the man crush line. You have your family, you just said.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna probably do more research for the month of March than I have for all of the other months combined.
Your kid's behind you.
That was like kind of like creepy. He just like
dude, that was straight out of a horror movie, man. Check what he's got in his hands, man.
I've
seen way too much of those.
Just send you a reel. There's like a video of like my algorithm's all messed up because it's all like parent stuff now.
Lame.
It was like no one prepares you for this, and the kid goes up to his mom while she's sleeping and like opens her eyelid. So like I remember one time, no, probably twice. Case was just like standing over me, silent.
Yeah.
I woke up and I was like, "Whoa!" Like you can't do that,
dude. When you're a kid and like you're like if you like puke in the middle of the night or you're sick or you have a nightmare, you go into your mom's room. Anytime you wake her up, they wake up like there's a tsunami happening outside. Like she'll be like fast like that's how she'll like raise like she's like the Undertaker, dude. It's like, what are you dreaming about that like my life is happening?
Have you seen that board game Don't Wake Daddy?
I used to love Don't Wake Daddy.
Why? Just because of the how
it was hysterical. Yeah, it was great. It was like terrifying. Yeah, I used to play that all the time with my friends. Dude, I think I brought it for like I think I have it here at the apartment. Yeah, I love that game.
You have it at your apartment?
Dude, I didn't want to like, I was like, yeah, when I moved, I was like, these are things that you don't want to leave behind. You press the alarm clock. Yeah, dude, it's great. It's great.
It makes me wonder like how they built that game. Like how they choose what number like presses the next time it will pop up.
It's random, right? I don't know how
it is random, yes.
Yeah, without like digitalness. I don't know. I'm not like smart.
Digitalness.
Digitality. Dude, we didn't mention Team USA though.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
And the what to watch for. We probably should have done it in the beginning, but we'll wrap up the episode with that. But obviously, between now and next week's episode, the month of February comes to an end, right? So you got to make sure you get your picks in by Sunday.
And make sure you wish Neil Ravin a happy birthday on 2/25, 2 days from now. Is that Wednesday? Yeah.
That is Wednesday, yeah. Yeah, you can do that. I don't need that, but you can do that. Anyone, if that's
the big 5-0 for Rav. We're all excited.
If that's the case, then I look pretty good for 50.
There you go.
I'll take that. But we'll wrap this up now with what to watch for.
And now here's what to watch for in the EHL and the EHLP.
We already mentioned the EHL game of the week. Express versus Seahawks on Wednesday that Jake has once again declared as more valuable, more important for the Seahawks, which by the 3-point gap, I can understand. Yeah,
I'm just doing some math,
And you're going to that game, correct?
For sure.
Okay. Do you have another game that you're going to circle in the EHLP? We haven't even talked about this.
No, let's see. Is it P-Show? I mean, I don't even know what day today. February 23rd. Yeah. Won't be tomorrow, fortunately. I mean, there is like obviously a pretty huge game that I could probably make the trek back-to-back days for.
You're gonna go to Seahawks Avs on Thursday.
I mean, what other choice, right?
Well, listen, I gotta be honest. I don't know if you can go south again. You've gone south so many times.
Yeah, I think, and then I'm going south again, technically for the
showcase.
Yes, like I don't know. What's going to be interesting is if I could fit a South playoff trip in there.
It's weird that you said that because I was just thinking in my head.
Yeah, I will not be going south this weekend ahead of the showcase. I'm sorry, South.
Yes, but you are gonna call me up at some point in the playoffs and be like, I got to get down there. Game 3, I got to be there.
Yeah, I love driving. I'll just go wherever the bright lights are, for the East Show.
Sure.
Like I was in Flemington, and then the next day I was up at Rhode Island Sports Center for the game. Like it's the East Show, baby. East Show or no show.
For sure. Well, we should have started the episode with this, but we'll end it with it instead because I I was listening as they wrapped up the NBC broadcast yesterday. Which, by the way, did you wake up like for the first puck drop of the game?
Yeah, I had an alarm set. Yeah, for 8. Yeah.
Okay. And I think it's funny. Like, I don't think we'll ever like have another scheduled Sunday wake up as a country like that again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there were like bars and stuff open. It was like pretty cool.
Yeah, like I remember I was a freshman when they lost to Canada and Sidney Crosby scored the golden goal in that one. And it's like, I think we talked about this around the Super Bowl. Like, I guess you just don't realize how rare it is until it happens.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
That was 16 years ago. So, like, in the moment watching the game, and I could hear you, like, saying this question, watching the game yesterday, I was like, I really want this one.
I know.
I was like, why do I want this so bad?
And you go on Twitter and you see a lot of upset, ugly people, and you're just like, this is what it's all about. That's like that. Yesterday was the kind of day that social media was invented for. So you could just dunk on Canadians, and yeah, I'm going to leave it there, but dunk on the certain kind of people that are very dunk onable, right?
And like maybe we're lucky here that like social media has taken off the way that it has, over the years, because in 2010 when this matchup happened last, Instagram wasn't even launched yet.
No.
So like we probably avoided a lot of abuse that Canadians got yesterday.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like after they won the Four Nations, just stay off social media. But like, I don't know if they're just whinier than us or if Americans were just as bad when they lost the Four Nations, but it's been so satisfying to watch. I'm like, root for your country. Like at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter anything else. Like this is like they're out there representing you,
Right.
Like Jack Hughes like broke his face for you.
Yeah.
And still buried.
And like, I'll be honest, he didn't play well in the Four Nations, right? I remember like thinking like, is this just like a skill guy that's not gonna get gritty? And when
people giving Austin Matthews crap, that guy was fantastic in the game yesterday. The way he was getting back on his horse, yeah. Like a little snake bit in the offensive zone, I don't care, dude. Like if that's the kind of case of where it's like if the goals aren't coming, he found something else to do out there to be productive. For
sure. So, yeah, I guess like for me, the memory will always be like there won't probably be another Sunday morning like that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
If there is, then I'll be beyond grateful. But they're like 16 years apart from when I was in my freshman dorm room watching them lose to yesterday morning. Like we may have to wait 16 more years or more to get something like that again. And
yeah.
It was.
I don't plan on being around for that, but we'll see.
I got to be honest, though. I had to walk out of the living room when they brought Goudreau's kids onto the ice. I was like, all right,
rough.
I'm not in a good spot for this right now.
It was rough, but it was pretty beautiful, too, at the same time. Looking at his parents is always, like, the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, it was beautiful. They made a point out of remembering him in every way possible. And that's all you can ask for in a situation.
For sure. When I cheered, Chase kind of erupted too. I don't think he had any idea what I was cheering for, but he was ecstatic at the same time. It's those memories though that make the sport so special.
I refuse to believe that. He's the most even-keeled kid ever.
Just because he doesn't talk to you and you try to give him a high five and he just looks at you.
He looks at me or buries his face in like you or Vicky. It's like, all right, dude.
We will break through that shell eventually. I'm certain of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much more time I'm willing to give this little guy. Running out of patience.
We have one more episode left still before the showcase coming up. That's next week, but it's March next week. It's just crazy to think how fast the month of February has come and gone. Obviously, I know what people are saying. It's the shortest month by days. I know that. But it still feels like it absolutely flew by. We have some big games on tap this week once we clear the snow from this latest blizzard. So if you can make it out in person, great. You'll see Jake on the road at a few of them, but if not, catch him on Flow Hockey, and we'll talk to you next week in March.
Thanks for listening to The E-Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.